This generator is called the Westinghouse WGEN7500. That's 9,500 watts peak, 7,500 watts continuous. I purchased this generator back in 2019, so I've had this generator for about 3 years now. And it even served me well through a sustained power outage for 8 days. In fact, I went through 2, maybe 3 oil changes during that sustained power outage. So I can guarantee you in this video, we're going to be going over all the pros and cons that this unit has to offer. Starting from the top down, we have the gas input here. It's connected, the cap is connected with a chain, and it's got an internal filter so that if debris were to fall in there, it would be caught by the screen. It's like a little cup screen. We have the gas gauge here. It's an analog dial that tells you how full it is. You have your danger and warning stickers here, and also the easy start instructions right here. Moving over to the left side of the generator, you have your air filter, which is right here. These clamps easily allow you to take the front faceplate off, and I clean the filter very easily just by following the manual. You have your shut-off valve here for when you want to store for longer periods of time. You have your hand crank here, and it even comes with a remote start that you can put on your keychain. This looks almost like one of those car fobs where you can just remotely start and stop the generator. Simply with this, it's literally the size of a key fob on your keychain. You also have this handle that you can lift up and then move the generator on wheels. Moving over to the complete opposite end of the generator, you have all of your information on this sticker here. It tells you the model number, the serial number, everything you need to know, just in case you have to contact their customer support. And you also have the exhaust right below it. You have the OVH here, and you have the choke. There's a choke lever right here. So here we are facing the front of the WGEN7500. Moving over from the left to the right, this is the button and outlet interface design. We have the ignition start and stop button. And you can use this when you flip the switch over to run. You will see that the battery indicator is engaged, which will in turn allow you to push this button to start the generator. Moving over to the right, you have your data center. You have your main breaker. This is where you actually allow the power to go to these outlets, which we will get to next. Right here you have your 30 amp outlet. These are covered. You also have your 120 volt AC. These are 20 amp. And it looks like it has the breaker buttons next to them. Right here is a little charge port for the battery. So if you are storing this generator for long periods of time, you can actually use this AC adapter right here. Just making sure it's on camera. You can use this AC adapter to plug into this port and then plug it into the wall so it'll actually take care of the life of the battery. Neutral bonded to frame for grounding. You have your battery down here with your positive and negative terminal. You have your oil intake, and right here is where you can drain the oil out for oil changes. So now let's move on to the pros and cons of this unit and my experience with it over the course of the last 3 years. I'm going to start off by saying that this hands down has been a very phenomenally reliable generator. It has never once not started for me. It has always started for me. I like how huge the gas tank is. You can put a ton of gas in here, and I'm gonna put the gallons on the screen right now. The other pro is going to be the remote start, and the push button ignition is huge. Not having to hand crank this is amazing. Why? Because over time, you can overuse the hand crank. So by using the push button start ignition, you don't have to use the hand crank. You can only, which allows you to use the hand crank if you need to, only for emergencies when you actually need it. Now, while there is plenty of pros to this model, and I really do like the WGEN7500, there are 2 cons that I discovered while using this generator. The first con is going to be the oil pan drainage. For some reason, over the course of using this for the past 3 years, there has been random leakages of oil coming out from where you drain out the oil. And I contacted their technical support, and they said it could be because I don't have a crush washer on it that came with the generator. And I checked, and the crush washer is still in fact there. So I plan on fixing this in the future, but that's the first con. I don't like that I have to make sure that this generator is not leaking. In fact, I have to keep a cap underneath where the oil drains just to make sure that if it does leak, it's not going to leak out onto my cement floor of my garage. The second con is that this generator does not emit a pure sine wave. It can emit 60 hertz, but not reliably. Now, what does that mean? That means that if you have any sensitive electrical component, electrical appliances, like pretty much every appliance is sensitive now, because they're making refrigerators, they're making freezers, they're making all these components out of circuitry that are very sensitive. So in this modern 2022 era, it really would behoove you to make sure that if you were to get a generator, that it has a pure sine wave. That allows clean power to go to your electrical components to make sure that they don't degrade over time and fry out or fail.